Welcome again. I'm doing a couple of videos this night, and I just wanted to clean up my script in that last one as I'm playing with Revit within Grasshopper, within RHINO, within Revit 2021. And I'm also going into the GHPYTHON node, and that's where the main focus is. So I had to clean it up and do some divided lines. I have a big geometry here, which I can hide or get rid of. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of it, actually. There's my ghosted form. Pretty simple script. I've got the surface going in and being baked. Being brought from RHINO into Revit. So you have a Revit direct shape that's been brought in. I do think I still have this surface, which should be reading as that object. How is that being generated? We'll get rid of it. There's the ghosted form. It's pretty simple. I brought in a simple surface and ran that through a very simple script of import. I didn't need the math at random, but basically I was playing with this, reparameterizing my domain U and V, and this is right from this Chinese text. I'm playing a little bit with the division of that, and I'm finding a nested loop that will run through dividing the domain, multiplying the domain by the iterations I and j, and then appending those points to a list, points list. Then you can see the outcome, also the full domain of where we stand here and here. So it goes from 1 to 184, I assume, inches or millimeters, I'm not sure, or meters, whatever the scale is. I think I'm in inches, which isn't great because I should be dealing with metric when it comes to Revit, I think, even though I'm in the States. And then the points coming out are actually interesting. They're all generated here, so I just threw them to a sphere, and then I just did a quick Boolean difference, which is interesting. It kept the bottom of them, which I thought was interesting, and I like that little perforated shape. And then when you change the count, you change this. But what's nice is when you change the count there and you run it, it updates very clearly and quickly in the Revit tools as a rooftop with a bunch of little perforated bumps that are actually going down. I like the way this kind of runs here and then give it a second and then a run over here. I think that's pretty interesting. So the main point is to move towards fabrication, being able to make some pretty cool models and drawings within Revit. So I know they're accurate, they can be usable, and I can take them to drawings, and I'm going through my Archistar Academy Essentials and onward in Revit so I can be more fluent in that. And like I said, I'm going to promise you guys that I will be going into these, what they refer to as families. I'll start playing off of roofs and floors and functions that come out of here as I go into categories, families, materials, and types and views. And that should be pretty exciting. But right now I'm still focused on the GHPython script. That's the one that's coming from the text. I've been a little playful with it, but not too much because it's fairly basic. And I'm trying to show you where this might end up for those that want to go to fabrication, and for those that want to dig deeper into Python and take this and go into RHINO Common and script this in a whole other script. It might be that I avoid going into RHINO Common completely in the Python node, and I'm very tempted to start practicing a bit with what I've been learning through Lawn Noon in the C# node. So that way I can actually grab the scripts right off of RHINO Developer. I can import them into here, and since they've all been done by Steve Baer, this is like basically you're like in a grocery store or like a hardware store, and you can grab whatever you want on the shelves, and it's all been processed to a certain point, but then you can start fabricating the sculptures and the things and the builds that you always wanted to do. So the idea is your design, your build, Wickerson Studios. Have some fun, play around with a few things, see where your tendencies end up. I'm nearly 50 years old, so I've ended up where I've ended up, and I'll be posting a little bit of the analog stuff that happens on my land, but this is where my mind is. This is the chess game I'm playing, and I am really enjoying it. So thanks to Scott Davidson, thanks to the RHINO McNeil's crew for just keeping their videos updated. It's wonderful to be working within the add-ons, the RHINO beta version for Windows, so I thought that was kind of cool. And the other thing is I came here to start playing around with these things right here, the generative and the, let me expand this. This is why I came in the RHINO Revit, because I noticed you could start dealing with, in 2021 creating studies and exploring the outcomes. So instead of me figuring out all the iterations, I can let the computer do that. And I think I'm starting to realize that the world's moving fast enough and computers are moving fast enough that computers will move themselves forward much quicker than any single iteration that humans have time to do with their hands. So the interface in between all these things is what really excites me, and then also seeing the students coming in out of high school that had more to do with coding in the art school. That's a big rub off on what's happening at the Kansas City Art Institute Sculpture Department, and I am trying to develop that as best, fast, and efficiently as I can. I'll stay to the basic tutorials at that school, but online I'm going to dream and dream on. Take care.